Hey guys, welcome back to the Crime Analyst. If you are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on post notifications by hitting the bell so you never miss any of our uploads. And so now, without further ado, let's begin with today's video. Pablo Escobar was a big-time drug dealer and a brutal one at that. But just how brutal was he? To find out, watch until the end of the video. Welcome to today's video. Pablo Escobar was born into an impoverished household in a Colombian town near Medellin. Because his family could not afford to pay for his schooling, he was forced to quit. The decision to drop out of school was the first step towards a life of crime. He and his brother would take headstones from cemeteries and sand off the names in order to resell them as new tombstones. To make a modest quantity of money, they committed other petty crimes. After dropping out of college, he went to work for a smuggler and made his first million at the age of 22. In 1975, Escobar ordered the assassination of Fabio Restrepo, Medellin's most powerful drug lord. Although Pablo Escobar did not directly kidnap people from the streets, he was the mastermind behind the operations. He was the leader of the Medellin cartel, which was notorious for kidnapping politicians, journalists, and children. The cartel kidnapped the Colombian president's advisor's son in January 1990. Escobar ordered the kidnapping in retaliation for the president's recent narcotics crackdown. Several more were kidnapped on Escobar's instructions just a few months afterwards. Maruja Pachon Castro, the future Minister of Education, and journalists Francisco Santos Calderon and Diana Turbay were all kidnapped. Turbay unfortunately died tragically when the cops attempted to save her. John Jairo Velasquez, better known by his moniker Popeye, was a well-known hitman for the Medellin cartel. While working for them, he was forced to assassinate Wendy Chavarriaga Gil, his beloved and Escobar's ex-lover. Before surrendering to the cops in 1992, Popeye acknowledged killing around 250 people. Popeye spent 22 years in prison for a variety of offenses ranging from murder to assisting in the detonation of a bomb. Velasquez published a book, participated in Narcos, and became a YouTube personality after his release in 2014. He was later reincarcerated and died in 2020 from esophageal cancer. Even Pablo Escobar's closest associates had reason to dread him. Escobar's wrath was directed not only at his romantic interests. His residence was reportedly broken into, and a waiter was caught stealing cutlery. The cartel boss had the employee drowned in the pool as a form of vengeance. Gerardo Moncada and Fernando Galeano, two of his associates, were also assassinated after he accused them of stealing money. Escobar's paranoia and brutality became so extreme that his allies turned on him and formed Los Pepes, a vigilante gang. The Cali cartel funded the gang, which attempted to remove Escobar and his operation. During the 1980s, a TV reporter named Virginia Vallejo was romantically associated with Escobar for 6 years. Despite falling in love with the powerful man, she afterward referred to him as a monster. After Escobar told her a particularly horrible and disturbing story, Vallejo began to distance herself from him. Wendy Chavarriaga Gil, believed to be one of his prior lovers, became pregnant without his permission. Escobar had his prior lover kidnapped by 4 associates and transported to a veterinarian to have the pregnancy forcibly terminated. Before Escobar ordered her killing, the abortion was apparently conducted without anesthesia. Vallejo contacted authorities 6 days before the cartel leader was as a result of this operation. Luis Carlos Galan, the presidential candidate, was a vocal opponent of both the Medellin cartel and Pablo Escobar. He intended to support an extradition deal that would see cartel members extradited to the United States to face punishment and criticize them in campaign speeches. The cartel was enraged by his statements, and he was constantly threatened with death. If he didn't stop, they threatened to go after his children. Galan was cautioned by the authorities not to visit the town of Soacha while campaigning. Nonetheless, he went ahead and did it. Galan was shot and killed in front of a crowd of 10,000 people as he walked on stage to give a speech. Members of the guerrilla group M19 stormed the Palace of Justice in Bogotá, which houses Colombia's Supreme Court, on November 6, 1985. In an attempt to save the captives, the Colombian military assaulted the palace. Much of the structure had been damaged by the end of the struggle, and over 100 individuals had died, including 43 civilians and 11 Supreme Court justices. The Medellin cartel has not been formally linked to the siege. However, some have argued that this is not the case. Escobar's son claimed that his father paid the guerrilla group $1 million to help them with their cause. This was confirmed in court by Escobar's ex-lover, Virginia Vallejo, who testified that Escobar had personally funded the organization in order for them to steal critical Supreme Court materials. Avianca Flight 203, with 107 passengers on board, flew from Bogota to California on November 27, 1989. Escobar planned to blow up the jet because he thought presidential candidate Cesar Gaviria would be on board. One of his associates is believed to have boarded the plane with plastic explosives and perched above the fuel tank in order to detonate a large explosion. The plane exploded, killing everyone on board, while the falling debris killed 3 civilians on the ground. However, Gaviria was never on board that plane, according to Escobar. He went on to become president. After 2 Americans were killed in the blast, President George W. Bush Sr. made it a priority to apprehend Escobar. The Medellin cartel and its associates formed an organization known as the Extraditables in response to growing fears of extradition to the United States. Their main goal was to prevent extradition. The organization began by placing advertisements in media and corrupting politicians. However, their acts eventually spiraled into heinous bloodshed. In 1990, the Extraditables and cartel members detonated multiple bombs as part of a violent reign of terror. The Medellin cartel had put a bomb outside the Administrative Department of Security offices the year before. A total of 14 city blocks were devastated as a result of this explosion. 63 people were killed and almost 2,000 were injured when the dust fell. This bombing occurred only 9 days after Avianca Flight 203 was bombed. Pablo Escobar, his cartel, and his terrorist operations piqued the authorities' curiosity. Unfortunately, many police officers were in Escobar's good graces. Many more policemen who were not on his payroll were often assassinated. For each police officer slain, Escobar offered his hitmen the equivalent of $700 in today's American cash as a bonus. Unfortunately, the people who worked for him were zealous in their pursuit of this reward. Nearly 600 police officers are thought to have died at the hands of Escobar's hitmen. Knowing that the cartel boss was willing to give these rewards demonstrates his moral depravity. Pablo Escobar supplied at least 85% of the world's cocaine market. Although Pablo Escobar operated in a few countries, his cartel supplied over 85% of the world's cocaine market at a certain point. At the peak of its operations, the Medellin cartel smuggled an outrageous volume of cocaine every week all over the world. The exact number of people killed by Pablo Escobar and his cartel is unknown. With that said, estimates put the number of fatalities between 4,000 and 5,000. All of the methods we outlined contributed to this mind-boggling figure. He ordered assassinations, rewarded the killing of police officers, and sanctioned a slew of explosions. Medellin, the cartel's home base, was formerly one of the world's most violent cities under Escobar's rule. Under Escobar's death in 1991, the city's crime rate began to decline. Medellin was finally free of one of the world's most deadly men. That's it for the video. Don't hesitate to let us know what you think in the comments section. And don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to this channel to get more videos, and click the bell button to enable notifications. If you liked this video and found it informative, then be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Also, if you do not want to miss out on any new future videos like these, then be sure to click on the subscribe button and turn on the notification under this video so that you're notified the next time we upload a new video. Thanks for watching, guys. We hope you have a great day today, and we'll see you in the next video.